So for the WrestlePalooza, the first match was actually the Cena versus Brock match. I would have thought that match probably would have been pushed maybe towards the middle, but now I see why it was in the beginning once I explain what happened. This match was worse than mid. Brock hit Cena with 7 F5s, then the majority of the match was just them hitting each other with finishers for like 10 minutes. The match was less than 10 minutes. Cena hits Brock with 3 attitude adjustments, and that was the only notable thing he did. The match seemed lackluster, and I see exactly why this match was the start of the show. It was definitely the worst match Cena and Brock ever had together. And after all of them F5s, Brock Lesnar wins, literally just beating John Cena to a pulp. And there was actually like a moment where they panned over to the crowd and they showed a kid crying, which was actually kind of funny though. No, John Cena just disappointing all the little kids thinking that he was going to win. But yeah, that match was disappointing. But before the match started, Paul Heyman came out and decided to team up with Brock. So I guess now Brock and Paul are cordial with each other again and working together in some sort. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. Cena versus Brock's story was bad, but the match was just even worse. So now we move on to the next match, which was the Usos versus Braun and Bronson Reed. They literally had no crowd pop or no crowd reaction at all during their entrance. The crowd literally does not care for these jobbers, and it's embarrassing. But in this match, LA Knight was the guest referee. I like how LA Knight turned his back when Jimmy hit Bronson with a chair, but tried to stop Bronson from hitting Jimmy with a chair. LA Knight was clearly showing favoritism because he doesn't like the Vision like everyone else, and I thought that was kind of funny. The end of this match was horrible and poorly executed. Somehow Jey Uso's face got busted open and started bleeding, air quotes on bleeding, and I put that in air quotes because it just did not look believable in the way it was being portrayed. They only did this to make the Vision look like a devastating tag team when they simply aren't. They will never be like the Shield, who didn't have to do these type of things to make themselves look like a devastating tag team because they just were based off their presence alone. And the Shield had more of a destructive aura than anything the Vision does in a single match. And it's funny how Braun has to put the words "the future" on the back of his attire because they're trying so hard to shove that idea down your throat. They want you to believe it when it's not believable at all. He has no star power, no mic work, no crowd work, just absolutely mediocre. Just like the match itself. And the Vision wins over the Usos and nobody cares. The crowd gave zero reaction to these jobbers winning, and that's that. Next match, we get to Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer for the women's title, and that match was an absolute banger. I would actually go back and rewatch this match. They had excellent chemistry. I think Io Sky is the type of wrestler to make any wrestler she works with looks good. I'm glad Stephanie won the women's title. I liked how fast-paced the match was because we need more of that. I liked how they both did their high-flying moves on each other, and the ending was shockingly good too when Stephanie did this corkscrew high-fly move off the top rope onto Io, and it looked flawless. Personally, I'd never seen her do that before, and it was a perfect way to end the match. To me, that may be a new finisher for her, and if so, that's a great finisher. I have nothing but positive feedback for this match. It lasted long, and it was entertaining all the way through. Io is also good at selling too, so congrats to her on her outstanding performance. So yeah, that was a great match. That felt like it was actually like telling a story, so that was, a good match to watch. But now we move on to the next match with AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth and Becky. I think Seth and Becky entrance looked cool, not gonna lie. The shades and the attire and them getting lowered down from a platform together, that actually looked pretty good. But onto the match itself, the start of the match was funny how Becky sneaks attack Punk and then AJ sneaks attack Seth, doing the same thing Becky did to mock and get revenge on what Becky does. The match had good storytelling with all the wrestlers hitting each other, finishers on each other. And towards the end, Punk and AJ all get put through the announce table because Becky throws AJ towards Punk and Seth to break the announce table, and I think that was a clever way for how that went down. And then AJ makes Becky taps out, and Punk and AJ win the match. The match lasted very long too, and I would consider rewatching this match too. It was a very solid match, but I do think AJ could use some more training, because you can definitely tell she has some ring rust because she hasn't wrestled in a decade, but over time I think she will improve. Now on to the main event, Drew versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE World title. And in the beginning, for some odd reason, Cody abruptly fell to a knee, rubbing his face. I think he was about to do a Cody cutter or some type of springboard move off the middle rope. So he did that for just a brief moment. I don't know why that happened. I think maybe something got in his eye, but it did throw off the pace a little bit, and it was kind of just strange on why that happened all of a sudden. But this match was absolutely mid and disappointing, and of course Cody wins because Drew injures his leg trying to do the Claymore kick to Cody through the announce table, but Cody moves out the way and Drew hits his leg through the announce table and injures himself. Then Drew tries to do it again inside the ring, but his legs give out and Cody hits a super Cody cutter off the top rope, then does the crossroads to Drew and pins Drew and wins. The match wasn't that long either, and this match was lame, and the fans didn't even look happy with the ending of this match either. Nobody really stood up in shock or excitement after Cody wins. Cody is just a boring champion, and this was the second worst match of the entire show, just behind Cena and Brock match being the worst match of the show. And this is not worth paying $30 a month for ESPN to watch this crap show. And I rate WrestlePalooza a 5 out of 10. And very mediocre show. And let me know in the comment section, do you guys agree with what I have to say? And let me know your current thoughts on the state of the WWE. And yeah, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, that's about it.